Hello, this is Tatiana with Truthball in Search of Goof, and if you've previously subscribed, yes, I've moved again. And I want to welcome and thank the new subscribers for joining in, and thank you, all of you, for your commentary, supportive comments or comments that are for others to read and feel validated. So this is a video I need to put together. It's going to go into the Getting Off the Codependent Carousel playlist. Those of you who are new to my videos, remember to click and subscribe. If you don't know how subscribing works, basically you're going to end up getting an email alert when I post a video. And or, like when I subscribe to something, it's because I really liked a video and want to go back. I want to make sure that I find that person again. Okay, so, and I don't know how you, there's like a subscribe button somewhere, or if I remember, I'll put in a link. So anyways, okay, so I have to get this out, even though I'm actually not finished moving in. It's like chaos, and my studio is still going to change, so I just wanted to say, because I'm looking at my screen, and this white over here makes me feel like it's blending into like a matrix zone or something like that. And that would be super cool. Like, I have special powers right here off screen. Okay, but in front of the screen I do not have superpowers, so I want to remind you that I am not a doctor, and these videos are part of my own coping strategy. And my goal is to validate someone else who has been in an abusive relationship, or recognizes or starting to recognize that they may be in an abusive relationship, so they can make a plan to get out. These Codependent Carousel videos are the next phase after you've studied about identifying what is narcissistic behavior and abusive behavior, and then getting off the codependent carousel is taking responsibility for your own behavior, things that you have unknowingly learned, behaviors, etc., and how to stop engaging in those. So today, I haven't figured out the title yet for this, but it's been building. As I've said before, I write notes until I need to get something out. So the only thing I can call this right now is the strategy is to not antagonize. And the reason that I have to talk about this is that my boyfriend and I went to go see a movie. So I'm going to spoil this movie for you. If you haven't seen it, you're going to have to watch this video later. I went to go see The Woman on the Train. I think it's called The Woman on the Train, which I thought was going to be this action-packed murder mystery or something like that, and it turns out it wasn't action-packed, but it was suspenseful. Anyways, so if you have seen the movie, you will understand my boyfriend's reaction, because within, I don't know, the first 15 minutes or so, and then he, like, you know, hey, is this bothering you? And I thought, I didn't even know what he was talking about. Because this girl is like obsessing. She is obsessing about her ex-husband, right? When you get out of that bad relationship, you just praise the Lord, kiss your wedding dress goodbye, and burn it in a fire. I don't care what you do, but you don't obsess about your ex. Okay, but the worst part about it is that she's antagonizing. She is calling and obsessing and interrupting his life, antagonizing. Okay, so the opposite of antagonizing is, if you haven't heard the term yet, it's going gray rock. When you get out of that relationship, you don't want any contact. Okay, now, like I said, I'm spoiling this movie for you, because I'm telling you something that happened at the end. This girl, not the ex-wife, but this other girl, they show this fight that had happened with the ex-husband, and he punches her out. They're like in the woods, and he like punches her out. And then as she's laying on the ground, then she starts yelling at him that he's going to pay for this baby, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and now it's raining in my new office, so I'm going to have to come back and wrap up what I'm talking about. Okay, it's a break in the rain. I hope that this will make sense since you know my editing isn't that great. Okay, here we go. So I totally spoiled and ruined that movie for you. You're welcome. But anyway, so it was really super duper sweet that my guy was recognizing abusive behavior in the movie and then was asking if it triggered me. The key thing was why it didn't click in my mind that he was asking about abuse and if it bothered me is because I was focused on the woman's behavior of antagonizing. So my mind wasn't focused on the abuse. My mind was focused on her behavior, that she was not off the codependent carousel. In fact, she was grabbing the brass ring every time she went around. I'm gonna have another drink and obsess and be miserable and not move on with my life. And I was like, I did not do that. I was like, well, she is just like self-destructing. So that's what my mind, I was like, this is bad. Girlfriend, somebody needs to like intervene. Okay, so then, like I said, you know, there was the girl at the end, right when the rain was starting, I apologize. The girl at the end gets knocked out. And I mean, she's laying down on the ground. And then she's got to like yell these insulting things, threatening things, confrontational things to the guy, right? And of course, her situation just gets worse, okay? If you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm thinking, and in fact, that's what I leaned. Oh, that's when I finally, you know, like talking to her during a movie. I usually don't do that, but I'm leaned in. I'm like, why is she antagonizing him? It made no sense to me at all. The women in this movie, girlfriends, just watch that movie and know what not to do when you're in an abusive relationship. Get out and have no contact. Do not do what any of the women do in this movie. All the girlfriends are wrong in this movie. Okay? Everybody. Oh my God, I'm even thinking about the girlfriend who should have staged an intervention. Nobody, none of the women in there did what they were supposed to do. Okay, here comes my rain again. I'm going to actually just talk loud and see if you'll tell me if it's totally intolerable. Okay. Not antagonizing. I also wanted to say, because when we watched this movie, actually, over the course of the last couple of months, in fact, actually, when you see, I did a video a few months ago called Survival Strategies. I think it's advice for families and friends, loved ones of people who are in abusive relationships. So I did want to let you know that I did follow my own advice. A friend of mine is in a narc relationship. This is going to drive me nuts. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, you guys, I am going to set up a better studio. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to try again. Okay, because this is really important to me and it's not flowing. So y'all can laugh at how much I'm going to try to edit this. I hope it comes out okay. Anyway, all right, coming back to what I was saying. I'm looking at my little thingy here. Okay, so basically, like I said, I followed my own advice. I have a friend of mine has another friend of his who's going through a divorce. And I have known years that that person was a narc. Everybody knows. Except, of course, the friend who is with her. So, my friend was following all the advice that I put in that video. And then, since we couldn't quite tell the other friend, hey, you're in an abusive relationship, you're going gray rock, that means that everything is going to escalate. So get ready and be careful. Because he doesn't know he's in an abusive relationship. He doesn't understand just how mean and evil she is. So what we did was we tracked. the information. Everything that we heard, we tracked just in case something happened, and she took him to court. She did not take him to court. She did escalate and accused someone else of rape. So, I'm telling you, his temptation was to antagonize after he realized that it was a false accusation. He took her to the emergency room. He did everything a loving guy is supposed to do. Why? Because a narc will target nice guys. He's a nice guy. And I'm looking at this like, man, we saw this coming. It took about 2 months of him dealing with this divorce stuff and having the best attitude that he could for her to escalate to this point. Now, I truly thought she was going to accuse him of abusing the children or something. I really did. She's a narc. I thought for sure she was going to do something terrible to him. But instead she pulled this whole, I'm not even sure exactly how she did it, but when the call came, it was like in the middle of the night, and, you know, he's at the emergency room and making her take a rape test kit and all this kind of stuff. And the rape test kit came back negative. I can't remember what he was saying. Like, he started to become suspicious by the next day. Within a week or so, this person who had apparently raped her had gone to her workplace to return her purse. And I was telling my friend, you know, I was like, it's not very often that someone who is a rapist also robs the victim. I'm like, this is BS. Anyways, but thankfully she did not press charges against the person who she accused or said had done this to her. Anyway, you know, if you're not familiar with my videos, I have been trained as a sexual assault victims advocate. I have been sexually assaulted. I have been through the process. And narc bitches like that are the people who ruin justice for people like me. Okay? Nevertheless, you can't antagonize people like that. I can't go up to her face and say what I want to say. Y'all know what I want to say. It starts with the letter C. But you can't antagonize. And this is what was happening in this relationship as they're going through the divorce process, was that he was not antagonizing her. She was going out and partying, she's going out and drinking, hoping that he will hunt her down and be jealous, because she has been thriving on his jealousy. And now that she's saying that she wants to break up and she's still going out and drinking and partying and stuff, he's not going to the bars. So since he is not doing the behavior that she has done to hold him in tight, she is getting more and more agitated and trying to up her game on how to freak him out and pull him to her. So now this false accusation of rape came. He does the nice guy thing. Then, I don't remember how this happened, some friend of her, somebody that she knew, saw the guy that she had accused coming in and having a nice conversation with her and returning her purse, and I thought, that makes much more sense to me that she somehow finagled leaving her purse somewhere and then saying that she got raped and had her purse stolen. Anywho, so she did not press charges. She did not officially accuse this person. And then, as I was saying, you know, my friend is not antagonizing her. He's not confronting her about the false accusations. Naturally. I think because, like I said, we can't tell him, hey, she's abusive, dude, be careful. Because if we do that, he's going to defend her and cling to her. So instead, it's like, you know, you just listen and then you ask things like, are you happy? Or, you know, at this point, you know, when the accusations came, it's like, well, what do you think? And as time was going by over the course of a couple of weeks, he came to the conclusion himself that it was a false accusation. And he did call several times to say, hey, I'm upset, I'm pissed, I don't know what to do. I do recall at some point telling him, you know, punching the wall doesn't feel as good as, you know, what you really want to do to the person, but you need to do everything that you can not to confront her. You're just going to make it worse. And that does make sense. Without telling him, hey, she's abusive. I don't want to take his ego. You know, I just want him to make a wise decision. No matter what, if you're upset at, especially if you're upset at a woman, right? Don't get violent or, you know, antagonize. Okay? Those of you who are not familiar with the word antagonize means to, you're like saying, I was going to say, you're saying what you want to say. You're saying something or doing something to get anger out of that person. You do not want to make a narcissist angry. Now, going gray rock does make them angry at first because they're not getting the reaction that they want. But you have to stick with it because gray rock does work. It did take, I'm going to look at my notes here and see when I started to really worry was in July of this year, and it is October. So it took a little while, but certainly not as long as I thought it was going to take. And I would say, number one, that's because he did not antagonize her. And he did go gray rock. Again, like I said, in my video about gray rock and in my video about the board game, BORED, when you are, you know, getting out of that relationship and you are, how did I put it? Gray rock is a natural strategy. I think that gray rock is a natural survival strategy that many of us have done in abusive relationships. And when we're becoming aware that we're in an abusive relationship, it becomes more of a conscious decision. It's a conscious decision to not antagonize and more so to stay at a no contact status. Okay, so anyway, I hope that made sense because I wanted to share that as well. Like I said, I was going through all that process, just observing, for the most part, just observing what was going on in my friend's life and concerned about what she was going to do to him as it escalated, as he stuck with, you know, going gray rock. And in this case, like I said, she did take it out on, she accused someone else, but she found, you know, she couldn't go through with it. You know, it's like a felony. It is illegal. If you get busted, if that narc gets busted for falsely accusing someone of rape, she can go to jail. So if it can be proven that they made it up, so I'm, you know, good for her that she didn't, because it was illegal and I was ready. I was ready to just totally pounce that if she did make it legal, I was going to try to figure out some way to like tell the police, hey, I'm tracking this chick's behavior. You know, it's not cool. It's really bad. That is a very awful, awful thing to do to women. All right, I'm going to stop my tirade on that. Okay, so let me finish up though. Okay, so I was going through that process. Then I came across that movie where my sweetheart boyfriend is like concerned that I'm getting triggered. And instead it was the opposite. I was like, these girls are like, I did not do that. I did not behave this way. That and besides, it was, to me, it was like abuse light. You know, that's what I said to him. I was like, this is like abuse light. The abuse that they went through to me was like minor. Anyway. Okay, but this is the thing. So it made me kind of think too, to wrap up, I was thinking about not antagonizing, and in my own life, an experience of not antagonizing. So I'm not sure if I've told this story before. I don't think so. But And this is not with a narcissist, okay? But it's not antagonizing, okay? There's no reason to make life worse for yourself. Anyways, so this was maybe almost 2 years ago, and I was talking with my pastor and saying, hey, blah, 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 and the situation that I was in, I was like, should I keep this place? Should I, if I keep this place, how can I afford it? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, it's a 1-bedroom, and now I have the option of renting out the room, or I'm just going to believe that God's going to give me the 2 rooms. Anyways, without going into super duper detail, we ended up kind of conflicting about really our perception of God. So I don't want to make it religious, but I'm sharing with you a situation that happened with me personally. Anyways, so as he's trying to convince me that I need to do such and such and such and such, and I'm doing the math and thinking, I'm gonna be in the ghetto, in like a studio maybe, or I can believe that somehow I'm gonna get to keep these 2 bedrooms. Then he said he just couldn't get over the math, and I was thinking, both of our scenarios are totally impossible in my life right now. So I'm going to believe for the better one. If we're going to pray, I'm praying for the one I like. And then he got upset. He didn't like that. And so then I asked him, I said, and I wasn't antagonizing. I didn't intend to antagonize. I said, how many children do you have? 3 kids, and they're all grown now, right? So they're grown and moved on, and you still have what do you have, a 4-bedroom house? You still have a 4-bedroom house. Do we serve the kind of God that said, hey, you did a great job raising your kids, you need to downgrade to a 1-bedroom, it's just you and your wife now, you need to downgrade? I said, or does God give you the abundance? You get to keep the 4-bedroom house. And that really, it upset him. So what did I do? Oh, I concluded. That was it. I just dropped it. I completely dropped the subject. I did not want to antagonize him. In my mind, I said, I know the truth. So my point for you, whether religious or not, is whatever the situation is, and you have the choice to go gray rock, to not antagonize, you have to make the decision that you know the truth. Whether you're being falsely accused, whether someone's telling you you're the abuser, whatever the scenario is that you're in, where you want to fight back or let them know that you're pissed off, and you're going to have the choice of escalating the problem or just walking away, tell yourself that you know the truth. So in this scenario, I walked away and I said, I know the truth. God is a prospering God. I'm going to believe that I can keep this 2-bedroom house. It's been almost 2 years. Okay. And I went from that 2-bedroom house to a 4-bedroom house. And now I live in it's still being remodeled. So I don't know how many bedrooms I'm going to end up with, but this house has 12 rooms in it. I don't even have enough crap to fill up this place. Okay. So, like I said, I don't want to get religious on you, and I can tell you I have no idea how God works. But I do know the truth. My God is a prosperous God. I did not antagonize my pastor. He can continue to believe what he believes. And I'm going to live in what I believe to be the truth. And I have been blessed much, much more than I ever imagined. I hope that I would touch 1 or 2 people when I posted these videos, and all of you and your commentary and your encouragement has changed my life for the better. I almost cried there. Thank you very much for being so encouraging to me and for putting in your encouraging comments for everybody else who's reading. I think at this point, I think I've had, like, on my statistics, I can see 16,000 views. 16,000 people have looked for someone to encourage them. I'm not taking the credit to me. I'm saying 16,000 people have Googled or searched for an answer to the pain that they are going through. So thank you for your commentary that you're leaving for other people on my videos. Okay, and again, I'm wrapping up and saying, don't antagonize. Get yourself off the codependent carousel. And if you don't know what antagonizing looks like in an abusive relationship, please watch the movie. It's called Woman on the Train, I believe. Just came out. It was in theaters last month or something like that. And everything that every single woman does in that movie is antagonizing. I think there's a portion where one of the women with the baby is not antagonizing. But she ends up antagonizing at the end too. Okay? Don't make your life worse. Get over it. Oh, I hate that saying. Get your healing on. Get your healing on and get a good life, my loves. I am wishing you, as always, much love.